Hi, I'm Deirdre Coyle. I'm going to be reading my short story Girlfriend, which was published in Joyland magazine. Another cockroach crawls through my hair. I lift its body, watch its legs wiggle. I hate to kill anything, so I flick him into a corner of the garage and look up from the cement. Johnny, Carl, Sean, and James fold over their instruments like skinny hunchbacks, fingers fumbling. A scream of feedback reverberates. They suck, but their focus gets to me. When Johnny first asked me to come to practice, I couldn't understand why he wanted me there. They practiced at his place, so it wasn't like he needed a ride. He shuttled me through his house and into the garage, then asked me to stay. I wanted to say that I had shit to do, and I did. Fires to start, strip malls to burn down, gasoline in the trunk of my car, ready to go. But I couldn't say that to him or to anyone, so I stayed. Tools and lawnmowers line the walls, a moldy blanket in one corner, amps and instruments and pedals and wires clustered into a rat king in the center of the floor. The garage door didn't even work, something about a broken spring that Johnny refused to fix. So when he said, "Make yourself comfortable," I wasn't sure what he had in mind. I sat against the wall. They played a song, all heavy distortion and down-tuned guitars. It sucked. Johnny's body hooked into a C shape, his eyes focused on the frets on his fingers, his red-orange hair fluffing outward as he bobbed his head. I watched his face as he forgot I existed, as his body reformed itself into a house on fire, a house I could never enter. Burning buildings make terrible homes, but I'd never wanted to live anywhere so badly. Staring at the boys, I felt suffocated by my bones and organs and skin, claustrophobic inside myself and incapable of immersion in anything. After 2 songs, I had to go. At Wendy's, I ordered French fries and ate them in the parking lot while listening to music that didn't suck at maximum volume. Some kids banged on my window and screamed at me to turn it down, but I just slouched further in my seat. After finishing my fries, I drove about 50 miles north, got off at a gas station, bought a cup of coffee, and turned back. I drove for hours. My mind sparked hot as a trick candle, off and on and off and on, and never quite cutting out. Again, I tell Johnny I have to go. "One more song," he says. "We're playing that one I played you those chords from that time." My mind blanks. He does this all the time. "You liked it," he says. "Come on, babe, stay longer." A pustule glistens beneath his left nostril. My fingernails dig into my palm, trying not to pop it. "Okay," I say, sitting back on the cement. I had plans today, setting fire to Old Navy and watching it burn from the McDonald's next door. Instead, I watched the band play a song called Death Swallow. Their instruments funnel them into some kind of fugue state, and I can barely differentiate notes between the noise and feedback and Carl's cigarette scream vocals. The chorus might be something about cum in sailors' mouths, but it's hard to say. Whatever trance they inhabit together, I've only experienced alone. After practice, Johnny's busy with the guys, so I leave. Behind Old Navy, 3 giant dumpsters lean against a brick wall. I lift the lid off the blue one, a mountain range of recyclables, a clean sheet of cardboard sticking out the top. I take a Bic lighter out of my bag and light the edge of the cardboard. It glows orange for a second, then goes out. I light it again. I reach for some newspaper beneath and fire that up too, throw it in deeper, watch the paper products turn into monsters. I take a few steps back, sit on the asphalt. I shouldn't stick around, but nobody's here. When I'm alone, my focus recalibrates. Everything's red, orange, white, and I feel so calm. Loneliness powers its own fire, brightens that shit behind my breastplate. Warmth spreads outward, touches my sweaty forehead, my cold fingers. I take my shoes off and look around the lot. Even now, I'm looking for roaches. The next day, I'm in 7-Eleven buying gasoline. Lighters line the counter, one with a tattoo-style Lady Luck lifting her thigh in salute. I pick her up. The cashier looks at my choice, looks at the red canister in my right hand. I smile sheepishly, put Lady Luck down. I continue walking around the store, pretending there is something else I want, picking up granola bars and single-dose Advil packs and plastic funnels. I hear a familiar voice and see Sean, Johnny's drummer, with some other guy. Our eyes meet across a bag of potato chips. "Hi, Sean," I say. "Oh," Sean says. "Hey." He glances at the other guy and gestures to me. "This is Johnny's girlfriend," he says. Tim, says the other guy. We nod over the potato chips and don't shake hands. Sean scratches his neck. Tim smiles weakly. Okay, I say, hoisting my can of gasoline in mock salute. See ya. I hide the gasoline in my trunk. I light napkins on fire in a back alley. I wonder why I ever do anything. The boys play Death Swallow, Aggro, and Pistol Whip It. They pause when they run out of beer. Johnny walks over to my spot by the wall. Come with me for a beer run, he asks. Sure. Can you drive? My car's out of gas. We drive to BP and pick up 3 6-packs of Rolling Rock. Is this enough? I ask. Johnny shrugs. I saw Sean at the gas station the other day, I say, with someone named Tim. Who's Tim? I don't know. I thought maybe you knew him. I don't know him. Okay. Wait, what was his name? Tim, I say. Oh, Tim. Yeah, I know that guy. Do you think we got enough beer? They play Sock Rocket, Spoils of Peace, Kill Sauce. I watch Sean's hi-hat catch the light from the bear bulb on the ceiling. Johnny's head keeps hitting the chain that hangs from the bulb. The chain swings around and around. Light flickers over and under my eyelids. A cockroach ambles near my fingers, and I move my hand so it's not in the bug's way. It scuttles past me, doesn't even look at me. Jesus, I think. I thought we were friends. After practice, Johnny and I go to Wendy's. I try to play some music that doesn't suck, but he turns it off. You can't turn that off, I say. This is my car. Please, he says. I really want to listen to this demo. Come on. Okay, I say, thinking about the gasoline in my trunk. It's funny to keep gasoline in the trunk of my car because it's like supposed to be there. A cop could search my car and find nothing wrong. It's almost like there is nothing wrong with me. We head back to the garage. I perch on a speaker cabinet eating my fries. Johnny spreads himself across the Rat King with 2 cheeseburgers, chicken nuggets, a large soda. Does it go to 11? I ask. What? This. I pat the amp. Does it go to 11? He takes a bite of the second cheeseburger. I hate that movie. After dinner, I go down on Johnny and he falls asleep in the wires, pants off, flannel on. I find half a beer on the floor and finish it, grab Johnny's jeans from below his feet, fold them over a fat audio cable. I press my face into the makeshift pillow and fall asleep. In the morning, I'm alone with amplifiers and abandoned instruments. Maybe Johnny went to the bathroom or maybe to his actual bed. The door to the house is locked. I knock, but if Johnny's passed out, he won't hear me. I push the garage door button, even knowing it's broken. It depresses beneath my thumb without acknowledgement. No movement, no mechanical buzz, nothing. My exit strategies are running out. I'm not staying in this garage forever, fighting my way into someone else's fire. I'd hidden the gas can in the mold with me, and I stare at its cheerful red shell. My fingers close around the cap and twist, idly at first, until the scent of petrol sharpens my focus and tightens my grip. Pouring slowly, I write my name in fuel across the center of the Rat King, splashing an extra dose on Johnny's discarded jeans. Piss-colored liquid drips through the rubberized tangle, darkens the cement. What happens to wires when they burn? Do they melt or explode? I drag Sean's throne to the garage door and sit. I'm ready to destroy the objects whose owners I can name, to see Sean's bass drum burn and blacken, Carl's mic stand light up, fire eat through the varnish on James's bass, strings pop off Johnny's guitar, to leave them unarmed, unfocused. I pray to Lady Luck. I pry the safety off my lighter.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
What was the inspiration for that?
Oh, well, no one particular thing. I think periods of my 20s where I dated musicians and some of the frustrations I found there.
And some of the solutions you thought of in your mind. I could see that.
Yes.
Well, it's nearing your end of your time here. Would you like to tell us a bit about what you've been up to in the Kerouac house?
Yeah, I've been so productive here. It's been really wonderful. I've been working on a novel, and I think the structure I ended up working in was usually that I would, wake up and I'd go for a short walk to get coffee, come back to the house, and then I'd have like a good writing session with my coffee. and then I'd have to take a break for sometimes a long time, depending on how intense the morning session was. And then usually on a good day, I could have another writing session in the evening after I ate dinner. And I think it also varied. During the time I was here, I was the most productive in the first month because I had so much energy and, the excitement of having all this time. And then it kind of slowly became like fewer and fewer hours where I was able to keep up that pace. But overall, still very productive.
Good. And were you able to get out into the community very much?
Yes, somewhat. I made friends with some of the writers here. So I got to try some good food and some fun bars. I also just really liked walking around this neighborhood when I was on my own even. It was really nice.
Mm-hmm. It is a nice neighborhood here in College Park, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really lovely and, so safe. Like I felt so comfortable walking around in the evenings when it was, when the temperature was the nicest around twilight. It was really great.
Mm-hmm. And had you been to Orlando very much before?
Not since I was a kid for, the usual tourist reasons. But I never spent time, in the central Orlando.
And was there anything that surprised you when you came down to live here that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, I guess I was surprised by how liberal the city was, just because I hadn't known that. And one thing, I was so impressed by the library system. Sarah Nichols took me on a tour of the Central Library. And it was so amazing. They have so many incredible programs, and I was very jealous. I mean, not that the New York Public Library doesn't have good programs, of course, but I don't think we have a VR room, for example.
It's very impressive.
It was so impressive. I was just like in awe. And I went to graduate school for library science, so I'm particularly interested in library systems in general, even though I don't work as a librarian now.
But you have that background.
Yeah.
So what impressed you most about the library was just the different classes and the facilities they have? Or?
Yeah, it's just so many different public programs and like really amazing facilities that people can just rent out, and all you need is a library card. And I think it's so important. As much as I love and care about books, obviously, I think it's so important for public libraries to serve public needs, and obviously different communities are able to do that in different ways. But I thought the facilities here were just so impressive and wonderful.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, I was sad that I couldn't stay longer to take more advantage of it.
Oh, you could come back. Where are you headed from here?
I will be going to Richmond, Virginia, one of my hometowns, for a few days, kind of making my way back up the East Coast, and then I'll go back to Brooklyn where I live. So I'll have a few jaunts before I go back to normal life.
Normal life. And what stage is your novel that you're working on at?
It's not, I had hoped to finish a full skeleton draft while I was here, and I didn't quite make that goal, but it's far enough along, I know where it's going, so I feel pretty confident that I can keep up enough of a pace within my normal life to at least finish the first draft. But part of the reason that's difficult for me is because I tend not to be able to just write a first draft I have to go back and edit and reread and revise and then rewrite large sections sometimes before I can convince myself to move on and write even a new paragraph, which is not the most efficient way to work, but that's what I can
Everyone has their own psychological constraints, don't they?
Yeah.
So how did you get into writing?
I've always done it, I guess. When I was a kid, I would before I learned to write, I would draw pictures and then I would dictate to my very tolerant and supportive mother, who would write captions under my pictures for, like, you know, as I told her the story. And then when I was older, when I was in middle school, I was working on this series of fantasy novels, which are...
It's ambitious.
Never finished.
Yet.
I'm sure they're still on a floppy disk somewhere. If I could find them. Maybe that's my next project.
Yeah, maybe it is. Unearth your middle school book. This could be it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think just kind of progressed naturally with where I was in life.
And do you have a favorite thing to write about?
Oh.
Or not? It's a difficult question.
Yeah, I write a lot about, I don't know, women in various states of realism, I think. Yeah, that's my standard answer.
All right.
Women.
Women in various states. All right. Leave the field wide open.
Right. Could be anything.
Well, we just really appreciate you being here and being such a good resident for us and getting out into the community and sharing.
I've had such an amazing time.
Good. That's what we like to hear, and we wish you all the best going back. And stay in touch. And as we say to all our residents, we have a porch out here that we like to host book openings on.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Yeah. So come back anytime that you have when this book's done. We'll be glad to host something for you. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
And I'm Janna Benge with the Kerouac Project of Orlando.